Guys, Elita Legionarii here, and today I am bringing you a 3 versus 3 for Napoleon Total War on the Prussian Hills map. As you can see, my team is the attackers. We've got Bulgarian Warrior, SwedishLandsknekt, and myself, and our opponents are Nightwolfff, and I don't know how to say that other name, and Jayvb. In this battle, Prussian Hills, it's kind of like there's a line of hills throughout the centre of the map, and I always find that it's critical to rush the centre of this map to get the higher ground. So that's how me and Swedes and Bulgarian Warrior are going to start this map. Now, it was raining. I don't think it was meant to be raining, but it is. But oh, it adds some good features to the video, I suppose. I'm playing as Russia, obviously, and to be honest, I seem to always be playing as Russia. It's not even my favourite faction, but I seem to always play as them. But the Russians are kind of a rushy faction. That sounds funny, Russians are rushy. But they are quite good at getting into a rush scenario, and they're very good in the melee. So that's why I took them for this map. So my army consists of 4 units of Russian Jaegers as my skirmisher contingent. Russian skirmishers, in my opinion, are not actually very good. They're decent. Their accuracy is pretty low, though. But they do have the numbers, and they're decent enough. They'll do the job, but the numbers are not. The accuracy is not great. Then I believe I had, I think it was 5. Was it 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Might have been. Yeah, I think it was 5 units of musketeers. Musketeers are actually better used in a melee fight than a gunfight. Although I always forget to do it. I always forget to do it. But to be honest, they're really quite good in melee. Much better at melee than they are actually at shooting. Whoops, I thought the battle had started. And then I got 4 units of Lifeguard Foot. Very good guard units, very good in melee like all Russian units, and these guys are good shooters, obviously. Then I have just a normal general staff, and my cavalry consists of 2 mounted rifles out here on the left, and I think, yeah, 2 mounted rifles. That's it, 2 mounted rifles on the left, and there we go, yeah, 2 Pavlograd Hussars and the regular Hussars, and the Hussars have got a couple of upgrades on them as well. Russian Cavs probably only average. It's decent, but it's not the best. Swedes is playing as the Ottoman Empire, which is a very rush-orientated faction. Probably the best, right? Well, yeah, I'd say they are the best rush faction in the game. So he's got 4 units of decisive infantry. Then he's got Ibrahim Bashar, one of the specialist generals for the Ottomans. Then he's got, let's see, he's got a mixture of, he's got some Bashi bazooks out here because he's going to do a melee rush type build. I think he's got like 3, is it? I think he's got 3 Bashi bazooks, and it might be 2 or 3 Semat Janissaries, which is pretty typical kind of rush build. Then he's just got some Nizami Cadet light infantry, and he's about 4 of them. And then of course he's got the very excellent Silatar Guard, which is one of the very best cavalry units in the game. They're excellent. And then Bulgarian Warrior is playing as Spain, which is a favourite of his. He has some guerrilla units. He had some of these Hussars de Valpenes, I don't know how to say that, is my Spanish for you. Cazadores Voluntarios de Madrid. Let's not continue with this, I think. Then he's got some Tiradores de Cantabria. I like the Spanish words, they sound so cool. Then he's got some, these guys are not actually, those units up here. Then he's also got some more of these Voluntaries de Calruna. I think these are light infantry, are they? They might be line infantry, I'm not sure. They're the guerrilla units that Spain's got, so you can quickly use them to help seize the high ground really fast. Then he's got some of these Coraceros Espanoles, look like they're Cuirassier, heavy cav. They're actually a really good unit, actually. And then he's just got a mixture of light infantry and fusiliers, and of course one of them, Gregorio Garcia de la Goista. I should learn Spanish. Yeah, that's what he's got there. So yeah, he uses this to seize the high ground quickly. He's got some provincial militia over here, and see, he's got some more provincial militia and some fusilier over here. So I think what I'm going to do with this video is I'm going to have to edit parts of it because I don't think I'm going to be able to catch everyone's action. Let me just pause it. I don't think I can hear the sound. So yeah, as you can see, my movements, you can see my movements here like that. I'm moving up to seize these wooded areas. The rules were no artillery, and this player out here on the right, or the left, I suppose, who's opposing me, broke the rules and brought some. His army, all our opponents are playing as France, by the way. They consist of, actually I think there's a battle going on in the centre there. I might pause it actually while I outline the armies. Their army consists of 2 units of dragoons out here. Then we have, let's see, we've got some Swiss foot, Polish Legion, looks like 3 artillery cheval, and I think it's like I know the French have a double strength artillery unit. I don't know if this is it. It might be actually. So he's got a crap load of artillery there. He's got Napoleon as general as well, so his troops are going to have some pretty high morale. There's the little master there. Then he's got, I think is this him as well? I think this might be him. He's got an old guard, Polish Legion, some more Swiss foot, and some more dragoons. Then the central French player's got a Polish guard lancer, young guards, 3 young guards, 3 old guards, Marshal Ney. Then he's got another Dutch guard lancer. He's got 3 voltigeurs and 2 Polish Legion. Then the player opposing Bulgarian warrior has got some voltigeurs, National Guards, Old Guards. I can't really see it all, to be honest. Let's see. Young Guards, Old Guards, General Staff, Polish Legion. All these armies are very typical of France, to be honest. Lots of very powerful guard units with the Old Guards, Young Guards, and of course a mixture of Polish and Swiss foot units, basically. My opponent has no light infantry though, so that's good for me. I wanted to actually use my light infantry advantage. He's definitely got a missile advantage. So here we're under artillery fire. The rules said no artillery, but you know, people don't usually follow rules. Swedes ends up sending these 2 Scimitar Guard to help me, which is very useful later on in the fight. But at this stage, we're just moving troops up. I believe it was Swedes had 4. I think it was 4 units of these Jayvb-Cadet light infantry. And this is the advantage. France is actually not. I think the French players should have rushed us, to be honest. I really think they should have rushed the hill like we did, because to be honest, the guts of this French army is very strong. Line infantry, and there's a lot of guards in all their armies, a lot of old guard and young guard. I really think, especially on the Spanish flank, they should have really rushed this flank, to be honest, because that Spanish line infantry is not of the quality of that French stuff. And had he got his numbers down right and got enough shots into Swedes' melee units, it would have been devastating. I probably have the best way of resisting a melee rush, to be honest, because my Russians are very good at that. And if Swedes managed to get his Semats and his Bashi bazooks into the fight, then it would have been a hard fight for the French players. But to be honest, I think they took the wrong move, to be honest, sitting down here, in all honesty. So here's a bit of artillery fire coming in here, which was annoying Bulgarian warrior. That he broke the rules, which is understandable because it annoyed me too. So on my flank, I'm pushing up. I'm pushing up here, and I'm trying to get these kind of wooded areas, because being in woods is a massive advantage in and of itself. Sweden is now pushing down his Jayvb-Cadet, and here we go. We can see some of these Spanish lights are coming up. Here we go. The voltigeurs get the first volleys of the game. They unleash. Voltigeurs are, in my opinion, they're really strong. Volts are really strong. Like, they don't dish out huge, well, they do dish out a reasonable amount of damage, but I find them to be tough. They take a lot of killing, and they're in a pretty good defensive position here. But I put my money on these Spanish lights, because they've got the wooded terrain and it's a higher ground. So they open up really nicely here. It's some beautiful action here. Probably not going to get the same accuracy you'd normally get because of the rain, obviously, but that affects everyone, so it doesn't really affect anyone at all at the same time. Affects us all, so it's all kind of even. So yeah, the Volts have got the critical opening volleys, but Swedes is now moving up his Jayvb-Cadet lights in, and they're going to open up now, and that's going to give him the edge there. He's opening up through here, but some of these French Polish Legion have come forward. Swedes wants to pull back here, make use of his range, because those French troops will do an absolute ton load of damage otherwise. some nice shooting going on. I mean, the Ottoman infantry, light infantry, is actually not all that great anyway. It's decent. It's certainly decent, but it's not great. But these Spanish units will do pretty good, I think. Although they are losing, probably because they're in a tighter formation. But that's just because Bulgarian Warrior wants the woods, which is always a good place to have cover. You do very, very well with skirmishes if you get the woods, which is what I was trying to do on my flank. But, I mean, look at these voltigeurs. They're under all this concentrated fire from both players here at pretty close range. And it's not actually having that much effect on. Well, it is, but it's not. It takes a long time. It's one thing I noticed about voltigeurs. They do take a lot of killing. And that's one of the reasons I always choose them over chasseurs every time. Not much happening on my flank. I have moved up some of my Russian Jaegers here just to take some shots at this unit of Old Guard or Young Guard out here. Just to support, but I think my skirmishes are probably the worst, to be honest. I'm not sure. I'm not actually sure what the difference between Nizami Kadit and Russian Jaegers is, but I think the Kadit might be a little bit more accurate. I'm not sure though. I might be wrong on that. But yeah, Swedes got the high ground here, and he's getting some great shots on his Polish Legion. He's already knocked it down by nearly 50 men. But these units through here will be winning, I would imagine. These Young Guard, Swedes should pull back so that he's not fighting. He should keep his range advantage, in my opinion, because this line infantry will do very well in a shootout. So yeah, this is where we see my opponent charges me here. But now I've got my musketeers behind firing as well. But I would lose this fight. As you can see, it's an Old Guard unit, so I will. In a minute I'm going to withdraw from this fight because I will lose it otherwise. And I mean, Russians are not great at gunnery. Like, they're not bad, but they can be better too. On my side, not much happening, just moving up, as you can see. Bear in mind with me, guys, this video is probably going to end up being quite long, probably just because Napoleon Total War videos usually are, but I'm going to edit it so that I'm catching everyone's action. So I'll probably start with my action, but then I'll edit Swedes and Bulgarian warriors in. Over here I bring up some of my lights to get some shots here, any chance to just snipe a few units out of these Old Guard. At this stage I decided to pull back. I told Swedes to do the same, because if they push forward with their Old Guards, they will beat us here. Up through here, Bulgarian Warrior still carries on with his skirmishing. Great positioning now, though. Here it looks like some of the Dutch Guard Lances. Good thing I spotted this. I didn't even know it happened. Charged some of these light infantry. That's going to be a pretty solid victory for them, to be honest. Here come the Polish Guard Lances. Polish cav is always good, and it comes. Although fighting in the woods probably has a bit of a disadvantage for cavalry, but even so, getting light infantry mixed up with cavalry battles is not always a good idea. But it is in the woods, so it's probably not a drastically bad thing. And of course there's plenty of gunnery action going on in the background still constantly. As you can see, those Volts still holding in there, doing a good job. They're very solid, very sturdy. People say that French skirmishers are not good, and they're not as good as other nations, I don't think, but they still take a lot of killing, especially the Volts. I usually don't bother with the chasseurs just because the Volts are so strong. As you can see, Swedes done a nice job. If I were this French player, I would not have kept these Polish Legion this close to these skirmishers, because Swedes has just chopped them down. Over here, I've managed to get this Young Guard down into the 70s, which is great. Actually, that might be both me and Swedes who have done that actually together. These artillery are shooting me here. I'm just out of range though, so I'm not too bothered. I was a wee bit worried about attacking my opponent, because if he goes into like canister or shrapnel shot, I'm going to have a hard time of it. But yeah, the terrain is working in favour of us, which is why I think it was crucial on this map. It's always crucial on this map that you actually seize that higher ground, to be honest, because I think it just makes all the difference. And I'm glad that we seized it quickly, and our opponents didn't try and seize it. Would have been interesting they did, because it would have been probably a big rush, sort of grind out fight, I reckon. Over here, these, what are these? These Spanish troops came forward. I'm not sure if they were line infantry or skirmishers, but they get routed. But Over here, wow, I've forgotten, missed a lot of his fight. Apologies, Bulgarian warrior, I didn't even know it started. Okay, so Bulgarian warrior has now started his fight. He's gone for the wooded positions, good on him, good move. And he's doing that all around the board. He's skirmishing all around. Looks like there's been some really tight fighting in through here with some cav action. Looks like Bulgarian warrior might have got the edge on that too. And out here there's some cavalry action going on over here, and he's managed to catch a good number of these voltigeur out on this side with his I'm not sure what unit this is. It's one of his guerrilla cavalry units, and he's winning that nicely. The French player has positioned himself quite interestingly out here on these higher grounds here, but to be honest, it's a little open and exposed, and I think this gives Bulgarian warrior the edge because he's got the wood cover here, and it's a close fight indeed on that flank. My fight has not really yet begun, but it will begin in earnest soon. Continuous skirmishing up through the centre, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to continually focus on Bulgarian warrior's fight for now. I want to try and catch everyone's action. I hate to miss, or I really dislike it when I miss people's action in these kind of battles, but it's quite hard to do it without doing lots of editing, and lots of editing means longer videos. So over here looks like some of these chasseurs cheval come in and catch me out. That's a really awesome unit, great gun cav unit and a good melee cav unit, and it's now caught out this Spanish cav. But I think the Spanish cav is a little bit heavier, but because there were two chasseurs cheval, it's probably slightly going in the favour of the French. Over here we see some young guards shooting up these fusilier, and it looks like they're going to end up in a melee, even though the numbers are with the fusilier. And with cav coming in like this, I definitely think that those Spanish units are going to lose that. Let's see. Looks like there's a bit of action started up on my flank. If we look, I brought some of my lights forward, and I'm just going to take some quick shots at these guys here. I'm just going to keep edging forward here. I was a wee bit conscious wary because these dragoons are here, but Swedes has brought some of his Scimitar guard to help me. So yeah, I'm bringing my guys up here. I'm trying to get them close enough to get them to range, and they finally got themselves into range now. And his Swiss foot should, I think, be outshot by my lifeguard foot. I'm not entirely sure. Might be a bit even. I mean, I know Russia's more of a melee faction. So yeah, there's still more point blank shots. Swedes are skirmishing up through the centre. Nothing too particularly much happening there, and same, just a bit of shooting out here in Bulgarian warrior. So I love about this camera mode where you can the unlimited camera is really good. But I am steadily winning this little fight out here on my flank. But he's bringing up extra units here. I've got my musketeers firing. I'm at a bit of a loss here though. Like, I know that my Russian troops are good at melee fighting, but I don't think they're as good. They're not as good as old guard and young guards, and I'm not entirely sure with Swiss foot and stuff as well. So to be honest, I was a little bit uncertain about what would be the best approach here. But I noticed I was getting a good breakthrough here, so I was trying to kind of crack this flank open. And I've got better positioning. I've got the wooded cover, so I was confident my gun cav would be alright. My shooting would be okay for me. I need to check the stats. I'm not sure. I know I lose a gunfight, but I've got positioning in the woods that should give me the edge. Now over here, I saw an opportunity to strike straight forward with my mounted Jaegers and go into his arty here. Take them out of the equation so I can advance forward. Now here comes the French cavalry. Now I didn't notice them fast enough. If I'd noticed it quicker, I would have gone to squares, but by the time I noticed, it was like they were like right here and I didn't have time to get them into squares. So he pretty much mows straight into my line, but Swedes charges forward and I charge forward with our cav over here, and this is going to become a pretty damn brutal fight, cavalry fight on the flank here. Going to be pretty close, pretty brutal, and I'm really glad Swedes brought his cav this way to help me, because I know that my cav would have lost this otherwise, and because I didn't get square with those lifeguards, it's not great for them. If I didn't spot it, I had my focus over on making that strike with these guys. Now I wanted to get rid of this artillery, but I recognise that there's a very real possibility those French cav might win this side because there's gun support here, so I'm bringing in my mounted rifles to assist that fight. Swedes are still just lightly skirmishing through the centre. He's brought his line infantry up a little higher, and he's just sort of skirmishing away. He's got the high ground, and that is working for him here. He's keeping his Semats in reserve. Over on this side, Bulgarian warrior, relatively similar scenarios before, still in the woods, got that nice ground, taking some shots over here. I think the most crucial, critical fight's actually probably taking place over here at the moment. I bring my guys in behind, get a few shots, and then I'm going to go for a rear charge. So yeah, it was really good that Swedes brought the Scimitar Garden, because that's very good heavy cavalry, and my cavalry was not as good as those French dragoons. So yeah, I'm taking a few little shots here into the flank here. I'm aiming for units that are not too close to my own allied line. Through the centre here, I am getting reasonably good over here. I'm managing to destroy this old guard over here, but I am definitely losing throughout the centre here. I bring up my general here to rally us here, which turns out to work quite nicely. And at this stage I decide I'm going to go for a rear charge. I don't want to start sitting there shooting too much longer in case I shoot my own men, but at this stage, as you can see, myself and Swedes have crushed that attack by the French on this flank. I decided to pull back a little bit here, keep using that high ground in the woods. Through the centre, Swedes has, looks like he's routed his opposition. And through here, looks like the French has pushed up Bulgarian warrior here. But Bulgarian warrior, I think, has got reserves somewhere else. He's got some reserves in here, and he's still shooting it up through here. So I think him and Swedes were kind of evening it out through the centre. But Swedes have still got all these, like 2 Bashi bazooks, 3 Bashi bazooks, and 4 Semat Janissaries. So he's still strong there. Over here, I now see my opportunity to finally get rid of these pesky artillery. There's nothing to stop me from doing it now. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's watch and charge them. So this guy broke our rules bringing all this artillery. It was not allowed in the rules. So we bring it down here and going to be able to run these guys off the field at last, as annoying as they were being. At this stage, looks like there's some French cavalry that's gotten behind Bulgarian warrior. Well, the Swedes is over here, and it's going to get into the back of Swedes. So that's going to be pretty much the end of these Nizimi Kadit, I'd say. There's a Shashushiva will cut them down pretty quickly. I know Bulgarian warrior's got some reserves over here, because he looked to have lost that fight, to be honest, which doesn't surprise me in a lot of ways. Not because Bulgarian was a bad player, because he's certainly a good player, but just because in a straight line fight like that, the Spanish will lose to the French. At least against those guard level units they will. At this stage, on my side, I bring in my guys here, my gun cav, and I'm going to get some rear charges on these final French units over here, and it manages to break them. And there's still an old guard out here which I don't want coming in behind me, but my side of the fight has basically been won. But here we see Bulgarian warriors reserves, his Walloon guards, and some Fusiliers coming in to assist him here. And it was very good that he had these guys in reserve down here, or they were in this fight and they kind of acted as reserves for him, because he'd lost his other fight more or less, I think. But these guys worked well now. I think it was roughly at about this stage, Swedes unfortunately had to leave. Life was calling, he had other things to do, so he had to leave. But fortunately, I think he might have given the orders for these Semat Janissaries and Bashi bazooks to charge into the battle before he did. So that's what they're going to do while he's had to go. So at this stage, it's just me and Bulgarian warrior, and Swedes has brought a few units over here. So we're on our way to try and stop that. Over here, I just want to get rid of this pesky old guard for shooting up the flank there, but that's not really that interesting to show, I don't think. So yes, Bulgarian warrior is lining his men up, I think. Let's have a look. And here we see some Marshal Ney himself coming in. So that's going to be good for Bulgarian warrior there to kill this general's unit. That'll help a lot. Interestingly enough, those Nizimi Kadit survived that cav charge in their rear, so that was quite interesting. Swedes has managed to get his men up here, or the AI I suppose is in command of Swedes' army at this stage. But I think that even those Swedes that had to leave, which was a bit unfortunate, it worked out well because the AI basically just mass charges in over here with all these Semats and Bashi bazooks. On my end, I'm just trying to get rid of this last old guard. It's in squares. Tells you how good old guard is at shooting when it's still beating my 2 musketeers when they're in squares, although I think the terrain's kind of getting in the way over here. I'm bringing the rest of my infantry up this way, try and assist as much as I possibly can. I think Swede might have still been in the game at this stage. It was sort of around this general time where he had to leave. Can't remember the specifics, to be honest. But yeah, Marshal Ney just got killed, and there's a unit of Volts coming in here, so these Spanish troops should very quickly kill that as it's only light infantry. So yeah, that should be fairly easy cut down. I'm just going to go to triple here. It looks like Napoleon's getting into the action here. Napoleon coming into these Ottoman infantry. See if we can find the there he goes. Let's watch Napoleon kicking ass. Sorry about that, guys. I've been talking so long, my voice gets, makes me want to cough. So yeah, there he goes, Napoleon's down. The great general was down. But at this stage here, we're pulling all our troops this way. I don't know what the AI was doing here. I'm sure that wasn't Swedes at this stage, but yeah, the AI might send some of its infantry off to Lord knows where. But for the most part, it does actually do. It's useful. I mean, it's tired at this stage, but it does this big ass clumped charge, and it turns out working pretty well. And it's quite good because we just have the numbers down here at this stage. So yeah, if you look down here, I'm still trying to kill this old guard, which is kind of annoying at this stage because it's holding me down for quite a while. But I got rid of one of my cav units, unfortunately, which, as you can see, is just routed off the field. But he charges me here. The last remaining old guard charges me here. And he'll easily win that melee fight. Although my musketeers, as I said, Russians good in melee. They should be able to hold this down for quite a while, at least for a little while. And then if I get a nice rear charge of these mounted rifles, if I use my mounted rifles in a rear charge, I will be able to should be able to take those guys out. So that's what I'm going to do here. You can see I'm coming around for a rear charge, just get rid of these final guys here, bring it in from the back, and that is going to put an end to those old guards. So my fight is completely wrapped up in one. So that's the end of that. At this stage, looks like I've just arrived in time to catch the action. But the last few French troops and some of these Ottomans are fighting it out. Looks like there's a bit of melee going on here. These old guard no doubt will easily mop them up. But as you can see, there's Semats and Bashi bazooks coming in now, and that should turn it back into Ottoman favour. I love old guard, this is an awesome unit. Some lots of melee going on down here. But here come the Ottoman swordsmen coming in now. Bashi bazooks, Semat janissaries. It's going to be pretty brutal. As you can see, though, really also another cool feat about the old guard is they frighten enemy units. That's a cool feat. So yeah, it's just a big kind of melee blob fight now. That's all the AI is doing, and Bulgarian Warrior is just supporting it because he knows the AI is just going to mass charge pretty much. He's just going to support it with his Walloon guards and other units. I've got a few units coming along now. Over here we have. Looks like we have the Spanish general fighting it out with some of these French troops over here. What are they? An old guard unit. He's pretty brave to put his general into an old guard. But as you can see, yeah, the big melee blob by the AI coming through now. And that's going to pretty much kill everything. And then a nice rear charge from the general, the Bulgarian Warriors general. And then I get a few shots in, but I'm just going to go into the melee as well. There's a general staff there, but I'm just going to go straight for the melee. As you can see, these Nizimi Cadita fighting here, although there's some Spanish cavalry that's pretty much killing them. Not Spanish cavalry, French cavalry, the Chasseur Cheval. But big melee grind down now. Always a great way to end it with a bayonet charge, melee sword battle at the end. And of course the Russians are now coming in to finish it off on the flank. I just gotta say, Napoleon Total War is such an awesome game. Like it just, like I might not play it for a month or two, but then I just like come back and I come back to it and I just love it every time. It's just so much fun. So as you can see, these old guard versus my life guard foot, and some of my musketeers at this stage, and I managed to mop up the remainder of these French troops. Bring you guys as many close-ups as possible just to round off this particular battle. Russians, Spanish, French, Ottomans or Turks, epic. Truly an epic battle. I always love these 3v3s on Napoleon. I am always looking to play Napoleon Total War these days. It was an awesome battle. As you can see, Bulgarian Warrior comes away with top kills with 1,362, although he lost pretty much all of his army there. He only had about 400 men left. Swedes has 1,058 and I have 1,006. So me and Swedes again come off with pretty similar kill counts to that one their battle he loaded up the other day. Our opponent's Nightwolfff, 1,408, the other fella 537, and my opponent 1,078. So it was a pretty close game between me and my opponent. Good thing Swedes Cav was there on that flank, because I think I probably would have lost that flank and then I would have lost the battle. We got the kills. My lifeguard foot 105, musketeers 88, 85 for this Jaeger, another lifeguard foot 80, 72 here. My mounted rifles did well on this fight, 63, and this Pavlograd Hussar actually did pretty good in that big Cav fight, 54. Given that the situation they were in, I thought that was pretty good. The other mounted rifles fairly good, Hussars reasonable. Nothing did too badly. A couple of these guys got a wee bit owned, but nothing actually did badly. It was all kind of evenly dispersed, to be honest. So good game. I really enjoyed that. Now both Swedes and Bulgarian Warrior have channels. Obviously you've seen Swedes. I will link Swedes there. I'm sure you appreciate the views. And also check out Bulgarian Warrior. He's a great Napoleon Total War player, and me and Swedes have enjoyed our battles with him. So hopefully we can do more battles in future. So check out both these guys' channels. Good game to our opponents. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon next time.